Get smart with your energy. Start your energy evolution with Auditor on Board. Auditor on Board is the missing link between your thermostat and your air conditioning, refrigeration, or heat pump system. So you need an average 20% kilowatts per hour and giving you a payback in as little as 12 months and never more than 36 months. You get the same temperature control using less energy and spending less money. Here's how your cooling system works. You have a space where you want the temperature controlled, like your office or the walk-in cooler in a restaurant, or even your swimming pool. This is your controlled space. You have a thermostat that uses sensors to monitor the temperature in your controlled space. When it finds that the temperature in a space is rising above a threshold level or set point, it will send a signal to the compressor and the air conditioning, refrigeration, or heat pump unit to start running, bringing the temperature back down to the desired level. As the compressor starts up, it is running with its maximum efficiency and is able to start cooling the controlled space without using too much energy. It can quickly deliver the first few degrees of cooling, bringing the controlled space back down near the ideal temperature point. If it turned off right here, the temperature would quickly rise back up to maximum level, and the controlled space would have an average temperature much higher than the ideal. So if the compressor needs to keep running to drive the temperature down to a minimum level before turning off in order to keep an acceptable average temperature. As the compressor continues running, its operating conditions will naturally deteriorate and it becomes less and less energy efficient. By the time it has gotten the controlled space temperature back down to where the thermostat wants it, the compressor is taking twice as long and using up twice as much energy as it was at the start for each degree of cooling. Finally, the compressor meets the thermostat's required temperature or set point. It turns off and waits for the next call for cooling to come from the thermostat. As the temperature steadily rises again, the cycle will continue to repeat itself, wasting energy, never learning from its mistakes. You can help your cooling system get smart, and of all, using Auditor on Board's microprocessor. The Auditor on Board is a retrofit product, meaning it becomes part of your existing system rather than replacing it. A qualified installer will wire the Auditor on Board into your cooling system, right between the thermostat and the compressor. Right away, the Auditor on Board starts collecting data on the operation of your system, analyzing whether there may be opportunities for energy savings. The Auditor on Board will think about every signal that the thermostat sends to the compressor and determine when and for how long the compressor will run in order to use the least amount of energy while still achieving the same temperature control. The red line here shows how the compressor would operate normally without the Auditor on Board. The green line shows how it runs now that the Auditor on Board has been installed. As usual, the compressor starts running at its maximum efficiency and starts to slide toward less energy efficient conditions the longer it runs. Instead of letting the compressor drag out the last few degrees of cooling right down to the minimum level, the Auditor on Board turns off the compressor a bit early. This saves energy since the compressor is running for less time under inefficient conditions. The temperature will naturally rise back up again, and when it hits the maximum set point, the thermostat will ask the compressor to start running again. Here, the Auditor on Board has analyzed conditions and determined that the compressor does not actually need to start running right away in order to maintain the ideal average temperature. So, the Auditor on Board delays the signal to the compressor by just a few minutes. The compressor has a longer break before it starts using energy again. The Auditor on Board will continuously monitor and learn about the operating conditions of the cooling system. It uses a dynamic, intelligent control band to shave runtime off the start and end of the compressor cycle. The Auditor on Board saves an average 20% kilowatts per hour by lowering the amount of time the compressor needs to run to achieve the same temperature result. Auditor on Board is available worldwide. It's compatible with any air conditioning, refrigeration, or heat pump system with 1 or 2 compressors or stages. It works with any kind of thermostat or controller. The Auditor on Board will save energy, even on brand new equipment, with the most modern controls. It protects compressors from short cycling. It can be easily manually bypassed in case of emergency, and you can check your savings right on the screen. Call us today to learn more about the Auditor on Board and how you can start your energy revolution.